Hi everybody, this is Mike. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Chat GPT as a tool and resource for learning Spanish. Hola a todos, soy Mike. En este video les voy a enseñar cómo usar Chat GPT como herramienta y recurso para aprender español. Let's start by explaining what's Chat GPT. Chat GPT is an artificial intelligence powered language model that has been designed by a company called OpenAI. As a language model, ChatGPT is trained on vast amounts of data, and it is designed to understand and respond to human language in a natural way. So that means it's designed to interact with you like when you're having a conversation with somebody, asking questions, having a natural and fluent conversation. So this gives this tool a lot of power and possibilities for you to use it as a resource and tool for learning. ChatGPT works by using a process called natural language processing. Natural language processing, that's NLP. And this process is designed to interpret and generate human-like responses to interact with you, to the user input. So that means that basically you're having a chat with somebody who's very, very smart and somebody who has access to a lot of information, databases from all over the world, information about everything. So it has its cons and pros, but in overall, it's a very, very interesting tool. And right now it's being used by millions of people around the world. So when you think about ChatGPT as a tool and resource for learning Spanish, you can, as a user, you can use ChatGPT to ask questions about grammar, about vocabulary, about pronunciation, about a lot of things, verbal tenses, sentence structures. Whatever you want to know about the language, you can ask ChatGPT. And ChatGPT is going to give you feedback and information based on all the amounts of data that it has access to, and in a fluent way, like, once again, like if you were having a conversation with a real human being. Plus, ChatGPT can provide you with instant feedback, make corrections, give you suggestions in order to improve your language skills. So we could say that there are different ways in which you can use ChatGPT as a tool and resource for learning another language. There are many benefits of using this artificial intelligence tool. One of them is that you can have access to it 24/7, and you can access this tool anywhere in the world, as long as you have an internet connection. So it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter. You can be anywhere in the world. As long as you have internet connection, you can have access to ChatGPT, and no matter what time you're accessing ChatGPT, it's always available for you. As a side note, as far as I understand, there are some countries in which ChatGPT has been banned, but even though it's been banned, there are tricks and ways to access, like using VNPs and such. But that's something that we're not going to explain in this video. So basically, disregarding the places in which you cannot access ChatGPT, basically is you can access ChatGPT basically anywhere, as long as you have an internet connection. Plus, you can have personalized language experiences with ChatGPT. That means that you can ask specific questions based on your needs, on your personal needs, and your level, the level you are. So you can ask GPT questions like, my level is basic, beginner, and I need to understand the use of the verb to be in Spanish. And ChatGPT is going to interact with you and give you information. And if there's something that you don't understand because it's maybe too advanced to your level, or is not as advanced as you want, you can fine tune the questions and get more information according to your basic needs and your level, as I said before. Finally, ChatGPT can provide you with a judgment-free space for you to learn. That means that you're not gonna have to go through the hassle of practicing and learning, thinking that perhaps people are gonna laugh at you, or maybe you're gonna be judged because of your mistakes. Not at all. It's a personal experience, and basically you are free to interact with ChatGPT in a lot of different ways that can help you to improve your language skills. Overall, ChatGPT is a very powerful language learning tool, and it certainly can help English speakers to learn and improve their skills with Spanish in a natural, engaging, and personalized way. Having said that, let's dive into the ChatGPT experience. So, first thing is to access ChatGPT. Let's start like if it's your very first time. So first you have to go to openai.com/blog/ChatGPT. That will get you to this prompt, to this window, to this screen, to this website, in which you're going to click on Try ChatGPT. As a personal experience, let's say you don't have an account yet, so let's go into sign up, right? We're not going to log in, but we're going to sign up. In my personal experience, I tried several times with just an email address, and it always gave me an error message saying that ChatGPT signing up wasn't available at this time. So I knew I had to do either with my Google or my Microsoft account, because I'm so picky when it comes to safety issues and safety measures. I decided to open a brand new account. I opened a brand new account with Google in order just to be able to access ChatGPT. So that was what I did. And so that means that you're going to have to, you can try here. I don't know if it's going to work, but then if not, then you're going to have to use your Google account. And if you're picky like me and you don't want to maybe have take some risks because of safety issues with your account, whatever, then you can just open a brand new account with Google and use it for ChatGPT purposes. So once you access ChatGPT with your personal account, that will take you to this screen, to this prompt, to this window, in which basically you are able to access ChatGPT, and this is the basic interface. So basically it's a prompt that you can use for chatting. And the way you are going to interact with ChatGPT is asking questions or just starting a conversation. So let's start here by saying, let's start with something silly. Hey, hi, how are you? And as you can see, Chat is going to ChatGPT is going to give you answers. So hello, as an AI language model, I don't have emotions or feelings, but I'm functioning as intended and ready to assist you in any way I can. How may I assist you today? So basically that's it. I can ask ChatGPT any question. How much is 3 times 45? And it's going to 3 times 45 is equal to 135. So this is the way you interact with ChatGPT. Basically, you are having a conversation. This is called the prompts. So the more specific the prompt, the more accurate the answer you have. Now we have to keep in mind that because of its design, certain history information passing, I think it's from, it can be slightly inaccurate if you ask historic events for the past 3 years, I guess it is. So if I'm going to ask things like the war in Ukraine or something, I might get wrong information. But I can ask how far is the sun from Earth, it's going to give me information. So the average distance between the sun and Earth is approximately 93 millions, blah, blah, blah. And it gives me information. Now, I can ask basic questions and I can fine tune the questions. Could you explain the speed of sound? Sure, the speed of sound is the rate at which sound waves travel through a medium, blah, 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 and it gives the information. I can fine tune this interaction with Chat GPT. So far, we haven't asked anything about language, but we're just learning how to interact with Chat GPT. So I can go further and fine tune this. So could you explain the same as if I were a 7-year-old kid? Of course, the speed of sound is how fast, blah, blah. And then it start changing the way it gives me information, right? So let's dive into using this tool for learning Spanish. So let's start with vocabulary. So I can use prompts like this. I am studying Spanish and I want to learn vocabulary. I'm going to ask a general question. So, how can I learn new words in Spanish? So I'm asking ChatGPT, how can I learn new words in Spanish? So it says, learning vocabulary is an important part of language learning. Here are some tips to help you learn new Spanish words. Use flashcards. Read in Spanish. Watch Spanish movies and TV shows. Use language learning apps. Label objects in your home. Practice with a native speaker. And give me some tools. So let's say that this was my first step because I wanted to learn vocabulary. And ChatGPT is giving me tips on how to start learning vocabulary. So I want to learn 5 new words in Spanish. Can you help me? And he's going to tell me. Sure, 5 Spanish words, along with their English translation. La ventana, the window. El gato, the cat. El periódico, the newspaper. La cocina, the kitchen. El reloj, the clock. So this is my first step. So I want to learn words. Now, I'm asking ChatGPT to give me the words. So I can be more specific. Can you give me a list of words in Spanish with their English translations related to office stuff, things that I can find at the office. Let's say how it works. Spanish, I want a list of words in Spanish with their English translation related to office stuff and with example sentences. In this case, I'm going further. And let's see how ChatGPT works. So, el escritorio, the desk, example sentence. Yo trabajo en mi escritorio todos los días. I work at my desk every day. La silla, the chair, example sentence. Please, por favor, trae una silla para la reunión. Please bring a chair for the meeting. La computadora, and so on. As you can see, I can ask ChatGPT anytime to stop generating answers. Or I can let him go through the whole response and get all the information that I'm going to receive from my interaction with ChatGPT. In this case, I have 10 words in Spanish related to office stuff with their Spanish translation and with the English translation, and example sentences. It is so cool because now I can go further in learning and improving my vocabulary. So I can ask also uh, how to pronounce the word marcador in Spanish. Let's see what happens. This is vocabulary also. The word marcador, okay, it shows you how to pronounce the word marcador. The first, the second, and the third syllable. Another thing that I can do if I'm learning vocabulary, I can ask Chat GPT, what are the possible meanings of the word casa in Spanish? And give me examples using sentences. So what are the possible meanings of the word casa in Spanish, and give me examples using sentences? Let's see what happens. The Spanish word casa has a few different possible meanings: house or home, company of business, legal case, deck of cards, mortar. I'm sorry, I was thinking in Spanish. I'm sorry. So there are several ways in which you can interact with ChatGPT in order to learn and improve vocabulary. So there's another way. I want to practice Spanish vocabulary. Please give me a word and wait until I give you the meaning in English, and you can correct my mistakes, if any. Let's see what happens. Sure, I'd be happy to help you. Let's start with bicicleta. Bicicleta. So I'm gonna use the wrong word. Train. See what happens. Actually, bicicleta means bicycle, so it's starting to work with me, to teach. He's teaching me. So he says, you want to try another word? Sure. Let's see what happens. Great. The new word is computadora. So computadora is computer. Correct. Computadora means computer. Another word? Yes. And so on. Right. The word is libro. What's the word for a libro? Book. That's correct. Libro means book in English. Do you want to try another one? Sure. The next word is playa. Playa is beach. And so on. So I have my personal tutor, my personal teacher for free, available 24/7 anywhere in the world. As long as I have an internet connection, as long as I have access to internet. And this is a very powerful tool for learning and improving your language skills. We also can use ChatGPT in order to practice grammar concepts. So, can you please explain what's the simple present in Spanish? How to structure sentences and some examples of it. Let's see what happens. This is grammar concepts. So it says the simple present tense. The simple present. Oh wow, sorry. Sure, the simple present tense in Spanish is used to talk about actions that are currently happening. Blah 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 blah. And it starts with verbs. Gives me a lot of information that I can use right now. You see? To form the simple present tense, you usually take the infinitive of the verb, the basic form, and remove the blah blah blah. And it depends. Now it's giving me examples of affirmative sentences. I hope this helps. He says so. Sure. Now give me examples using negative sentences. He's keeping track on the conversation, and he's going to give me the examples of the negative sentences for the simple present tense. I can ask, is the negative form structure the same as the interrogative form in Spanish? In Spanish, the structure of negative sentences and question sentences is not exactly the same, but there are some similarities. And he is teaching me about the concept, a grammar concept for me to improve my language skills. This is so amazing. This is so cool because it gives you information in a very natural way. Let's say, can you explain the subjunctive mode in Spanish? Let's be a little more accurate. How to use the subjunctive mode in Spanish. I'm missing the alt caps when it comes to Spanish, English. Sure, the subjunctive mode. The subjunctive mood is one of the verb moods in Spanish, and it's used to express doubts, uncertainty, emotion, and subjectivity. Blah blah blah, and it gives me information. You see? Wow, this is so cool because you have a very good teacher. And if there's something that you don't understand, you can go back and fine-tune your questions, as you've been watching ever since we started this video. Keep in mind that the subjunctive mode can be a complex aspect of. Could you please give me more example with sentences and see what happens? Sure. And he gives me more examples with the translation into English. So this way I can have a full class on any subject when it comes to grammar, information, details of in my process of learning Spanish. So I can ask other questions, different questions than just vocabulary, grammar concepts. I can ask what is the best way to improve my skills, my Spanish skills, if I don't live in a Spanish-speaking country. Let's see what happens. There are many ways to improve your Spanish skills, even if you don't live in a Spanish-speaking country, and it gives me information. So, as you can see, it's not just asking for vocabulary or grammar questions. I can also ask questions related to the language. Any question I want. Anything I want. Anything I want to know, of course. And depending on how fine-tuned are my questions, the better I'm going to get those answers. That means that if I want to go further and I want to learn also things like cultural things, Spanish cultural things, I can ask, can you tell me the main cultural aspects of people who live in Colombia. Let's learn a bit about cultural aspects in Colombia. Food. Colombian cuisine is diverse and flavorful, with dishes that vary depending on blah blah blah. Music. Sancocho. It's talking about sancocho, empanadas, bandeja paisa, which is from Colombia. The music, merengue, bachata. You can, Feria de Cali. Religion, family, community, sports. A lot of stuff. So, I'm now asking further questions, just not concepts, but cultural things that I want to learn from, let's say, the country I'm gonna. If you're learning Spanish because you want to go and live to a Spanish-speaking country, or maybe you met a girl who speaks Spanish and you want to interact with her, these are questions that you may want to ask to ChatGPT related to culture from the place you are interested in. So let's say it mentioned something about Feria de Cali. So could you explain what is Feria de Cali? I want to know what's Feria de Cali. Of course, Feria de Cali is blah, 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 blah. And it explains you the whole thing, the whole cultural thing. This is amazing. This is a very powerful tool. So, one more question about culture. What are the cultural differences between American and Colombian people? There are many cultural differences. Language, of course. Family differences related to family. Time, food, holidays, social behavior. In fact, I can go further and say, I am gonna travel to Medellin. I'm from New England, let's say. And I want to know what social behavior should I keep in mind to have a good travel experience. This is a very interesting question. Let's see what happens. When traveling to Medellin, it's important to keep in mind the following social behaviors to have a good travel experience. Greetings, personal space, time. This is so cool. So we've seen how you can go from simple stuff like learning words, learning vocabulary, learning how to use words and how to improve your vocabulary, and we have also learned how to learn grammar concepts, to practice grammar concepts, and to go further, knowing about culture and more. So anything you want to ask, as long as you make the right question, you're going to get the right answer. And that takes us to the next level. And it's, I want to practice conversation in Spanish with you. I want to practice conversation. Sure, I'd be happy. So what would you like to talk about? Let's talk about traveling. Oh, but in Spanish. Okay, so this is my mistake, because I asked ChatGPT to have a conversation, but I wasn't specific on the fact that I want to practice Spanish and get correction. So I want to have a conversation in Spanish about traveling. Please, if I make mistakes, correct me on the go. Let's see what happens. Me encantaría tener una conversación contigo sobre viajar. ¿Dónde has viajado en el pasado y a dónde te gustaría la próxima vez? He estado en los Estados Unidos. Bueno, I'm supposed to be from New England. So, he estado en Colombia, pero, I was going to switch to English. Pero me gustaría viajar a Europa, especialmente a España. And we're going to have a conversation. We'll see what happens. Genial. España es un país hermoso con mucha cultura. ¿Qué lugares específicos te gustaría visitar en España? He's asking me specific places I would like to visit in Spain. I'm going to make some mistakes. Me gustó ir a primavera. Let's see what happens. Entiendo, la primera. Okay, this is my mistake now because he's understanding and he's not making corrections. So I need to fine tune this. Remember, if I make mistakes in Spanish, please make corrections to my mistakes. Por supuesto, si cometes algún error, no gustan hacer. Entonces, ¿hay una ciudad que te gustaría visitar en España? Seguramente Sevilla. ¿Tienes algún plan específico? Viajaré a Toledo. Vamos a ver. We're gonna see if something happens. Oh, man. Well, right now he's not making the corrections as I wanted. So most likely, I need to be more precise with my prompt here, and I'm gonna fix that right now. So I want to practice Spanish. Ask me a question and wait for my answer. But anyways, right now we've seen that you can practice a conversation with Chat GPT pretty much in a fluent way. Yeah, there are some hiccups, but so far it's a very good tool. So let's fine tune the prompts. I want to practice Spanish. Ask me a question and wait for my answer. And if I make a mistake, please correct. Please give me the corrections. Let's see what happens. Por supuesto, ¿cuál es tu comida favorita? Me gustaría roto. Let's see what happens. Me gusta el roti. Creo que quisiste decir, pero recuerda que en español. So he's starting to make corrections, and he's giving me the corrections in Spanish. If that's what you want, it's okay. But you can also ask, please, if I make mistakes, give me the corrections in English. Okay. He rompido el papel. This is a mistake. Okay, the correct sentence in Spanish would be he roto el papel. And now he's making the correction. So, once again, depending on the prompts, but basically it's a very good tool for practicing your writing skills. And you can have like a chat, like if you were talking to native speaker, Spanish native speaker. Sure, it has its details, like what happened when I made some mistakes and he basically kept on with the conversation. But that's something that has to do with the prompts that I've entered, the questions and the instructions that I've given to Chat GPT in order to have the right interaction with it. By the way, there are some other videos in which you can find excellent prompts in order to practice certain things. And hopefully, I'm going to make some other videos about prompts for learning vocabulary, prompts for practicing grammar concepts, prompts for conversation stuff. So, if you want to practice listening comprehension, or if you want to talk directly to ChatGPT, I know that there are some plugins and add-ons that you can use for Chrome and I think for other browsers, and you can enable in order to get a voiceover and talk to ChatGPT. Because, as I said before, I'm too picky when it comes to safety measures and blah blah blah. I don't like to install those, but you can do that. For a future reference video, I'm going to try and see if I can find a better way to practice that part. But so far, we have covered lots of details about using ChatGPT as a tool and resource for learning Spanish. I think with all the things that we've seen right now, there's so much that you can do in order to take advantage of this tool. Things that you may keep in mind, of course, are first, remember the prompts. You need to be specific with your prompts. You need the more specific the question, the better answer you're gonna get. You must be specific. You must be clear with your instructions. And of course, if you want to practice listening and conversation, like speaking with ChatGPT, there are some tools that can be used in order to do that. And in this video, I'm not going to go through those add-ons, but certainly I'll try and do that maybe in a different computer, maybe in a different system. Yeah, I'm so picky with that. But anyways, I hope this has helped you, and this information is going to be helpful for you in your process of learning Spanish. Okay, so basically that was it. I think we've covered all of the aspects of accessing ChatGPT, how to use ChatGPT, the prompts. So what's next? Now it's up to you. So it's on you. Your assignment is your mission, should you choose to accept it. Your assignment is to start using ChatGPT depending on your needs and your level. You can use it for practicing, for learning. Let's start by practicing and learning new vocabulary in Spanish, pronunciation tips, anything. You can start by doing anything, but your assignment is to start right now. So go open your account if you haven't yet, and start using it. If there's something that perhaps you haven't understood well about the whole thing, please go back and watch the video as many times as you need. If the doubts, if you still don't understand, of you still have doubts, leave me a comment. I'll try and answer as soon as possible. If you like the video, you know what to do. Please share with your friends and in your groups. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel. Click on the bell button, and that's going to help you to keep updated with all of the videos that we are going to post. And it's going to help us grow as a channel, as a brand new channel. So thanks a lot for being here with us. Thanks a lot for taking the time for watching this video, and hope to see you. Looking forward to seeing you in future videos. So this is Mike, and see you later. Have fun, study hard, and keep on coming. Bye bye.